Amorim has been linked with a move away to English football, with Manchester United, Liverpool and Chelsea all potentially looking for a new gaffer this calendar year. Top bullies Chelsea have had a long-standing interest in the 39-year-old, so who is Ruben Amorim and what's all the hype all about? The young manager shared a playing career achieving over 300 appearances, playing 13 times in the UCL, winning 3 league trophies, 7 Portuguese League Cups and 1 Portuguese Cup, predominantly showing his ability for fellow rivals Benfica. So far in his managerial career spanning over 200 matches, he's won 5 trophies since July 2018, including Sporting's first league title in 19 years. Since his reign began at Lisbon in March 2020, he's mounted 2.24 points per match and has won 70% of matches in his managerial career, alongside a 15% draw and defeat rate in total. Now that you know who he is, let's talk about his Sporting Lisbon side. Amorim's men have been electric so far this season, with players such as Victor Gyökeres, Pedro Gonçalves, Sebastian Coates, Nuno Santos, Gonzalo Inacio and plenty more flourishing as high-performing side. They averaged 2.9 goals per match, winning possession in the final third 6.6 per match. Most goals scored was 63 and sit just 2 points behind Benfica with 18 out of 23 wins. Amorim's men set up in a 3-4-3 and set up very well. Sporting play out from the back, their central centre-back, which over the years have differed from Sebastian Coates, Diamande, Gonzalo Inacio, etc., with the central centre-back formulated pivots alongside the DM, giving the spare midfielder license to take up space further up that half, helping the Sport out play him out more efficiently and even more quickly. When the defence does play through and finds that spare midfielder, fast link-up play with the wing-back and narrow forwards help Lisbon progress and find pockets of space to play through an attack. As efficient as this structure is, sometimes the opposition will match this movement with the press, so it's definitely not uncommon for the goalkeeper Antonio Adnan to play a long ball to the number 9 or the fellow forwards starting and running behind. This shows an honesty and realism to Amorim's vision, as he recognises that sometimes you cannot always play out front and the back, further presenting a lack of stubbornness which is very handy in a manager. Despite this, they play out very accordingly, and you can see within the players' movements and behaviour that they are very well coached. The left and right centre-back are handed slightly more responsibility in carrying the ball forwards, while the central centre-back may do the same, but mainly focuses on finding passing angles, playing through the lines and preserving possession. When a wide centre-back steps out, the DM sometimes slots back and covers that space exposed in the case of a turnover, but it's not uncommon that when Sporting have good momentum or win the ball back on the turnover or struggling to progress forwards, that one wide centre-back may overlap and potentially create an overload. Amorim's defenders are more than capable and very accomplished within carrying the ball forwards, so this offers flexibility in approaches to games. Now, after Sporting have played out, what comes next? Yes, you're right, how they attack. Sporting move quite directly and quickly in their attacking approach, very smooth, fluent attacking based football with the wing backs holding the width. The left and right sided forwards behave in a way that looks to play through the opposition and use quick attacking combinations to find a way through. This makes it very difficult for the opposition to deal with, as it's a case of not getting too tight and leaving gaps for forwards to find and expose, and also not standing off as the fast players are going to punish you. Sporting also always have around 3 to 4 players attacking the box if it's in a wide area searching for a cross, making it a good chance a cross is met by a green shirt. By Amorim's wing backs holding the width and their forwards sucking in opposition players, this also will leave the opposite flank with plenty of space, typically occurring with Nuno Santos attacking the opposition goal when a long pass from the right side of the pitch to the left is made. Even without this dynamic, we see Sporting opt for a long pass and ball over the top a fair bit, a killer pass that exposes the opposition centre-backs that are drawn away from their usual areas of occupation, mostly due to the number 9. Either way, expect to see plenty of overloads on the inside, with Ruben Amorim as your coach. Now let's discuss how they press and defend. Now Amorim's team press with intensity and aggression, forcing the opposition to play to a wide angle of the pitch where then a wing back will burst out to press the wide player. Sporting usually leave around 5 players back while the others press and aim to disrupt the passing play. Teams often look for a ball to attackers as a solution, but this aspect relies on their strikers' dual success rate. Teams are often forced back and their keeper is forced to play a long pass upwards, where this can be hugely exposed to keepers not well equipped with their feet. As mentioned, we often see Sporting shape force the opposition to move the ball to a wide player in order to progress. This is intentional because if the wide player can't find a forward on the inside to find, then they are often going to go backwards with the wing back on their tail. From a defensive stand view, Sporting get players back in numbers well when facing a turnover or built-up play from the opposition, with the opposition usually outnumbered in attacking phases. Despite this praise for the defensive phase, I find that quick counter-attacks and fast attacking moves sometimes catch the Sporting defence out, understandably, but it's definitely an exposure point for Amorim's men. It's also worth noting that Amorim is somebody who can get the very best out of his players and chooses them very efficiently. Over the years, Sporting have had some of their best players poached by big clubs such as Manuel Ugarte, Mendes, Sarabia, Pedro Porro, Mateus Nunes, Paulinho. The list is pretty much endless, which is why I think that if Chelsea hired Ruben Amorim and really gave him the keys, he would succeed as time moves on. I look at the Chelsea squad and understand that they may not be able to spend big next summer, meaning who can get the very best out of this crop of talented players. Forwards such as Palmer, Christopher Nkunku, Modric, Schumacher, and Larry Hutchison on loan at Ipswich will flourish massively in those inside spaces, combining together with a striker such as Guy Kroos or Rossiman. The utilisation of wing-backs is brilliant news for Ben Chilwell, who played his best football as a wing-back under Thomas Tuchel, as well as Reece James, who could fill in as a right centre-back and wing-back with Malagusto ready to cause damage too. The midfield structure I feel suits Lever and Caicedo as an absolute glove for that deeper midfield role and build up with Enzo manoeuvring higher up of the two when playing out. The defence overall I feel lacks a central centre-back. Colwill locks down the left centre-back role with his pace and ball carrying abilities, and my eyes are on Badiashile to become a strong force too under Amorim. Whether that will be centrally, I'm not quite too sure. I'd have to watch more of the Frenchman to see. Disasi misses out for me as of right now. He could very well develop as he's very strong and brave character, but I question his ability in tight scenarios, on the ball, and overall agility in some components. Noni Madueke, I believe, is a very talented player, but won't suit this type of play as I find that he's a bit more of a ball progressor, utilising wide spaces, cutting him from the left. Cesar Casadei doesn't hold the abilities and the skill set for me to succeed there, unless he's used as a more late run into the box, one header to flick down type of player, but he doesn't hold the technical ability for me. And finally, Nicholas Jackson, who I think has the ability for a young player containing on the ball qualities that could succeed there, but either needs to grow his physical side to his game tremendously or grow further confidence in his link-up play in close proximity to Nkunku, Palmer and Chelsea attackers. So will we see Ruben Amorim in the Chelsea dugout next season, or potentially this season, or even at Manchester United, or even replacing Jurgen Klopp at Anfield? Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, feel free to check out my Jared Brandthwaite video that I released last week. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.